So over the past couple of days, you've been seeing edits of this man going around and hearing about the name George Pickens. Everyone calling him the NFL Youngboy, calling him a menace, saying he's a crash out. So girl, let me put you on and tell you exactly who this man is so you know what everyone's talking about. There's a lot to cover, so we're not going to do too much of his childhood on this one. George Pickens is a wide receiver in the NFL for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he's from Birmingham, Alabama. His older brother is actually the one who got him into football, and his brother also used to play in the NFL, and he played for the Raiders. What made George stand out as a high school player was the fact that he could make crazy catches, and he was very competitive. He earned a lot of honors, was a 5-star recruit, and ended up being the #1 recruit at Alabama. He first committed to Auburn University before decommitting and decided to go to Georgia. He chose Georgia because he felt like it was the right spot for him. He wanted to play for Kirby Smart, and he wanted a chance at competing at national championship, and he thought Georgia and Kirby Smart would be just a place for him to do that. In 2019, as a true freshman, he led in his position as a wide receiver, and people really started to notice his name, but the public also became aware of his temperament. During a game against Georgia Tech in the third quarter, he got into an altercation with the DB on the other team and literally threw the man into the wall. He was ejected from the rest of the game and suspended for the first half of the next game, which was a championship game against LSU. The next season, he was a standout yet again, but he had another lashing out moment. In a game versus Tennessee, he squirted water on the quarterback while he was on the sideline, which led people to yet again question his maturity. In 2021, he tore his ACL and missed most of his junior season and was only able to play 4 games. But in the national championship game in 2022, he ended up making a very big play in the first quarter that helped Georgia gain some momentum and put their first points on the board. They ended up winning the national championship, which was the first time in 41 years since 1980. And that was the exact reason that he wanted to go to Georgia to compete for national championships, so then he got one. But leading up to the draft, more questions still kept circulating about his maturity and also his temper. This is him on draft day, and so the day of the draft, he ended up wearing a suit. He said it was a really nice suit, and he thought his name was going to be called in the first round. When it wasn't called, he said he went to bed and he thought, you know what, I'm not going to put too much effort into it tomorrow. So that's the outfit that we all ended up seeing. And on the second day, he was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 2022 draft. Some of the main reasons that he was ended up drafted in the second round, and said the first was because of his maturity, his temper really played a big difference. But his head coach Mike Tomlin says that he thinks that he actually was mischaracterized pre-draft, and that is why he's very hesitant and defensive of George Pickens when it comes to questions that he gets asked by the media about his character or his potential. His rookie year, he put up great numbers, but it was actually his catches that really put him on the mark. He made catches that a lot of people were shocked by, and if it was a 50-50 ball, everybody knew George Pickens had it. And then there's a clip of him being seen where he's yelling and saying how he wants the ball, and yet again, the questions of his maturity rise again. But yet again, Mike Tomlin comes to his defense, says he wasn't going to turn that into a negative, and he was glad that, he just wanted the ball. He continued to advance year after year as a wide receiver on the field, like play-wise, but